Agatha Christie's 1960 published work was The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding and a selection of other entrees, or a selection of entrees. It's a short story collection, the only, I think, UK first edition to short story collection to feature stories with both Poirot and Miss Marple. Now, the 6 stories are The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding, The Mystery of the Spanish Chest, The Underdog, 4 and 20 Blackbirds, The Dream, and Greenshaw's Folly. Greenshaw's Folly being the only Miss Marple in the collection. The others are all Poirot stories, and the first 5 stories are all, they all are basically reworkings of older pieces that were published in magazines but never kind of brought together in a published format in the UK. I think some of them have even appeared in collections in the United States before they appeared in the UK. The title piece and the Spanish Chest mystery, I think, are the 2 best examples of this short stories in this collection. The rest of it isn't all that great, actually. The first one, Adventure of the Christmas Pudding, Poirot is brought down or asked to come down to a Christmas party at a house in the English countryside to get kind of an old-fashioned Christmas, and this is Agatha Christie's own kind of venture into nostalgia and remembering the kind of Victorian-style Christmases that she was used to. Poirot agrees to help a young prince from a Middle Eastern country, I believe, get back a stolen ruby, and he happens to find it in a plum pudding. And it's probably one of her more light-hearted stories, probably because it's a kind of around a Christmas theme, and she's just kind of having some fun. You'll notice that in this one that even though there are servants and they're all behaving and acting in a way, in almost a pre-war fashion, where you have servants, you have more intact families, she throws in a few things to make it a bit more contemporary. So the daughter in the story, who's kind of hanging around with a wild young man, they describe her wearing more mod clothes in the 1960s, and her boyfriend wearing black jeans and a leather jacket. So she's bringing it up to date in terms of different social or kind of styles, but some of the social aspects are still the same, having kind of the old order and kind of the class system. The second one, The Mystery of the Spanish Chest, is another, I think, I probably would give it this, say it was the strongest. It's a very interesting story about a dinner party and a body found in a Spanish chest and a missing man. The Underdog is about an older businessman who's found murdered in his office, and his wife is convinced that it's his secretary, but she only has her woman's intuition to go on, so Poirot comes in to investigate. The Underdog, I'm sorry, 4 and 20 Blackbirds is one of these kind of interesting psychological pieces where that focus on a person's behavior and their normal behavior, and when that behavior alters what happens. So the waitress that Poirot is talking to notices that this man always comes in and orders the same thing every Tuesday. He always orders the same meal, but then one time he comes in on a Monday, orders something completely different. And it just sort of plays on kind of these ideas that people notice things and that we are creatures of habit, and that there must be something wrong when something's kind of out of order. And out of this, Poirot discovers a murderer. The Dream is about another wealthy kind of industrialist kind of stuck in this Victorian house where modern London's grown all around it, and it's kind of hidden. He invites Poirot to his office and sits in his secretary's office and tells him that he keeps having the same recurring dream where he shoots himself. And then, of course, he's found dead in his office with a gun in his hand. And so Poirot investigates this. And Greenshaw's Folly is about an old woman that Raymond West, Miss Marple's nephew, meets up with and helps to... He agrees to be a witness to the signing of her will, and then a week later she is, or very shortly after, she's found dead. She's been shot through the neck with an arrow. And of course the prime suspect is someone who is a noted archer and goes to the archery field all the time. These short stories are a bit overlong. I mean, she does a little bit better with a longer short story style because she can develop things a bit more. I think it's just kind of a mediocre collection. I'd give it maybe a 2.5 out of 5 at best, 2.75, okay? Next, and very soon, I'll be reviewing The Pale Horse, which I was reading at the same time, and that's a much more interesting novel to discuss.